Hey guys, welcome to the 6th episode of Farming to a Hyperion. But before we go into today's video, let's cover the rules once again. The first and main rule is all money made must come from farming alone. This means I'm not allowed to take any forms of donations. The second and last rule of this challenge is if I get the Hyperion, I will give it away to one of my lucky subscribers. By the way, I'll be giving away the Hyperion on my Discord link down in the description. And now that all the rules are covered, let's get right into the video. I started off the day by selling off my new nether ore hoe and my pumpkin dicer. The reason for this is because the prices of fermento armor were going down and down, and I was very close to being able to buy my next piece of fermento armor. My nether ore hoe almost sold instantly, but it took around 2 more hours for my pumpkin dicer to finally sell. And now that I finally had enough money to buy my fermento piece, I bought my second piece of mossy fermento. The mossy fermento helmet cost me 64 million coins, and once I hit farming level 40, I would gain 60 farming fortune. Right after buying my first piece of mossy fermento, a carrot competition was going on. Now that I needed a lot more money to buy my third and final piece of mossy fermento, I decided to participate. By the way, for those who are wondering why I sold off one of my most important tools to buy my second piece of mossy fermento, the reason for this is because the mossy fermento was at a super low price at the time. And since I recorded that clip, the prices already went up around 20 million coins. I was very easily able to place silver in this carrot competition. And after this, I took a little break. After getting back from my little break, I realized I was only 3 levels away from level 40. This is the level I would need to reach to use fermento armor. And there it was. My goal for this episode, reaching farming level 40. Because I needed XP super bad, I went back to farming carrots. Even though this was not the quickest way of getting XP, it also made me some money while I farmed. Because my god potion ran out, I decided to go to Elizabeth to buy a new god potion and some kismet feathers. And with the new kismet feathers, I sold them for 3.3 million coins. After that, I went straight back to farming carrots. With the money I made from selling my kismet feathers and farming for a little bit, I decided to buy myself a cactus knife. The reason for this is because I was super close to leveling up my cactus milestone. After buying the cactus knife, I quickly enchanted it with harvesting 5. I also enchanted it with efficiency 4, even though I have no clue if it actually helps. After enchanting my new cactus knife, I started farming cactuses. I ended up farming cactuses until cactus milestone 14. This leveled up my milestone 4 times. 4 milestones in 20 minutes? That's a pretty good rate. All of this leveling also gained me 150,000 farming XP. Even with all that leveling, I was still 38% of the way to farming 38. After doing cactus farming for a while, I figured that cocoa farming was the next best milestone to level up. So I decided to buy a new cocoa chopper. This only sent me back 3.4 million coins. But after buying 16 Sunder books, it cost me a little bit more money. After buying all the Sunder 1 books, I combined them and made a Sunder 5. And after I made a Sunder 5 book, I applied it to my Coca-Cola chopper. To make the cocoa farm, I had to replace my pumpkin farm. This would be fine though because my milestone for pumpkins was already super high. While I was waiting for the cocoa farm to start pasting, I decided to continue farming cactuses. And while I was waiting, I leveled up my cactus milestone one more time to cactus milestone 15. And now that the cocoa farm was fully grown out, I was finally able to start farming. Every new cocoa milestone would take around 10 minutes to complete, but they also gave me a ton of garden XP. And after I leveled up my cocoa milestone to 16, I realized that I did not want to do this anymore. Even though leveling up my milestones helped me out a lot, it was not worth my time. And because of this, I decided to replace my cocoa farm with a mushroom farm. After taking a little break, I decided just to get back to farming carrots. I just realized how bad it was to farm carrots instead of nether wart, and because of this, I decided to sell off my carrot hoe. The amount of money that I listed the carrot hoe for was 32 million coins. And because it would take a while for this hoe to sell, I decided to do the event. The event in question is the anniversary event. This event only comes around once a year and you're able to collect rare items. Some of these rare items is harvesting 6 and farming for dummies. And after completing the event for around 30 minutes, I made 4.5 million coins. This was a lot larger than I thought it would actually be, but honestly farming is probably more worth my time. And while I was participating in the event, my carrot hoe actually sold. And now I finally had enough money to buy back my nether wart hoe. The nether wart hoe that I decided to buy only had a 6 million counter, but it was already recommed and it had bountiful on it. A few members of my Discord told me that bountiful was better than blessed. And now that I finally have a nether wart hoe, I decided just to start farming some nether wart. I really needed money and XP at the time, so this would be a really great decision. By the way, for anyone who wants to be a part of the guild, we finally have open spaces. To join, you must be over Skyblock level 70 and then do /guild join bloopy MC. After taking a little break, I decided to start farming some mushrooms. This is so I could hit mushroom milestone 15. And after I hit mushroom milestone 15, I also leveled up my rabbit pet. Next, what I decided to do is just continue farming nether wart. My new nether wart hoe should make me a lot of money. After 30 minutes of farming and doing a ton of visitors, I finally reached farming level 38. This would give me 5 more farming fortune. I next decided to compete in a mushroom competition. If I could take silver home, I'd make a lot of money. And because of my high farming level and my good farming setup, I was easily able to take silver home. And because I had enough silvers to make 1 gold medal, I was able to upgrade my extra farming drop percent to 6%. And after that, even though I didn't have a carrot hoe anymore, I decided to compete in a carrot competition. And surprisingly, even without a carrot hoe, I was able to take home silver. I made a deal with myself that I had to hit a 10 mil counter without stopping farming. And after an hour straight of farming, I finally had a 10 mil counter on my hoe. This gained me around 20 farming fortune. The reason why it gained me so much farming fortune is because I gained 16 farming fortune per digit on my counter. Right now I'm only 10k XP away from hitting farming 39, even though that still puts me 1 level away from me being able to use these pieces of armor, my Fermento set. But for those who don't know, I bought this Fermento chestplate. Let's go lowest price and mythical rarity. Let's look for a good old mossy one. I bought it for around 53 million coins and it's up to 75. That puts my gains from 75 minus 53 at 22 mil for the chestplate. If I look at helmet, a mossy Fermento helmet goes for right now about 73 as well. And I bought that one for a little bit more, I think around 63. So that's another 10 mil, so about 30 mil gain, which is pretty nice. 3, 2, 1. Boom! Good old farming at 39. Farming 40 I'm still fairly far away from. So my plan for at least the next few hours is to just farm good old nether wart and then claim all the visitors that I can. And finally, there we go. My coca chopper finally sold, putting me up to 30 mil. 30 mil is actually pretty sick. I have to go obviously all the way and buying a recommed piece. And there we go. I have 1 million coins left. And finally, now I have a full set of Fermento. Obviously, the big issue with my Fermento is set is I am missing 1 mossy piece. Well, obviously it will be 2 because of my rancher boots. So I'm going to have to buy 2 overgrown grasses eventually, which is going to be kind of expensive. And honestly, I also might get a dedication 4. Try to level up my nether wart milestone a little bit more, so dedication 4 would be a little bit more worth it. There's a lot of gains that I'm trying to make in the series, but a lot of them are very far-fetched. Like dedication 4 is definitely not a requirement. And now that I have all of those gains, I finally can go back to farming nether wart. I was pretty close to hitting nether wart milestone 23, so that was my next grind that I was going to grind for. And after only a half hour of farming nether wart, I finally reached milestone level 23. And only an hour later, I was already 50% of my way to farming level 40. Alright guys, after doing a lot of these visitors, as we check when you're holding tab, 99.9% of the way, I guess I can show you here, we are 99.9% of the way to farming 40. And I guess there's no time to really stall. Let's just do it. Let us just get there, and in a second here, we should hit it. It should not take that long. Farming level 40. Farming 40 is actually so huge. Ah, finally, now we can use armor that took us so long to use. And now our farming fortune is 1,120. That is actually huge. And now that I actually do have Fermento armor that I can use, I can actually sell off all the squash armor, and hopefully I will have enough money to buy myself a squash ring, maybe a Fermento artifact. It depends if I will have enough. We do also have 800 copper and 4,800 bits, so it should honestly be enough to get ourselves a Fermento artifact, which would be very cool. But let's take a peek how much each. So a squash chestplate is a staggering 12 mil. It is kind of low price. Okay, squash legs are 13 mil. Okay, and then squash helmet is, I'll say 8.5. Okay, 8.5 mil for the helmet, 12 mil for the chest plate, and then 13 mil for the legs. Alright, it's around 12 hours later after I put up all the squash pieces on the AH. And if we take a little peek here, all of them sold. I had to list the pants for a little bit cheaper. But if I collect this, I'll have a sweet 29 million coin purse, which is pretty cool. That still puts me pretty far away from being able to buy the Fermento artifact. I think the Fermento artifact is around 40 mil. Yeah, 39. So for me to get 10 more mil, what I can do is I can go over to the bit shop. These will not get me there, but it will at least get me a start on it. I can buy 3 of them. Almost 4, but only 3. And then I can also go to the garden, and then at the garden I can go to the garden shop and buy dedication 1 books, which I get that these books are way underpriced right now, but I will still buy them. And if those sell, I will have still not enough, but I will have closer to enough. And then what I will do is I'll probably just continue farming until I have finally enough money to buy the Fermento artifact. And now I finally have 42 million coins. I think that is enough for Fermento artifact. Yeah, Fermento artifact is around 40, and boom. That is the most expensive accessory that I could buy currently. It does not even increase my farming fortune by that much, but our farming fortune is now 1150, which is pretty good. Increasing it by 30 doesn't really help us out that much, but over time, while grinding for the Hyperion, it's going to help out a lot. So that is actually a huge gain. Wow, I actually can't believe I unlocked full Fermento and a Fermento artifact in this video. By the way, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to join the Discord to have a chance to win the Hyperion. Have a great day, guys.